Hello, everyone. Dakota here from Black Blaze Gaming. I wanted to do a quick spoiler-filled review for Suicide Squad. It's gotten some really mixed kind of reviews between critics and fans. A lot of critics hated it. A lot of fans kind liked it, and then some didn't, and it's been kind of split in that realm more than anything. Um, and I just wanted to give you my spoiler filled review because good God, it's a mess of a movie. Okay, I'm gonna have to be hard on it. It's a mess of a movie. Um, I went in kind of wary, leery of it because I knew that it was gonna be um, it's another DC movie, and I don't know David Ayer. I had a little bit high hopes for it, just because Zack Snyder wasn't directing, and I think that Zack Snyder is only good at visuals. He's not really good at storytelling, especially not with in the medium of film. Um, and I can say without a doubt, as a filmmaker, that Suicide Squad is another example of how not to make a movie, in a lot of ways. Um, it's fuck. So you start out, you've got all these backstories for all these characters, and they tell you all the weaknesses, all the leverage that they're using in order to get these characters to work for them, which is a pretty weak idea as it is. It's like, oh, these are all we have. These are the only metahumans we have, even though that's absolutely untrue. It's like, oh, these are the only metahumans we have. These are the only people that we have that we can use to fight crime or whatever. And it's like, what? I mean, I guess. I guess it would be the last thing someone like an enemy would suspect would be that they would use, you know, villains. But it's still kind of weak. And then they tell you all the weaknesses of these characters, the leverage of these characters, and immediately my thought was, oh, are they going to they're probably going to bring this in as their weaknesses later on in the movie. They're going to use this as the crippling point of the movie. Um, and they did, but they didn't do it in a way that that was unexpected. They literally told you how the movie was going to end in the first 10 minutes. Nobody does that. You don't show your hand unless you're actually going to impress me. And they didn't impress me. The ending was the same in my mind as the ending of the new Fantastic Four, or Fan Four Stick as we call it now. Um, it was just cheesy and stupid, and like I should talk about some of the good things in the movie because there are good things. It's not an irredeemable abomination, although I'd like to call it that. Deadshot was great. Like Will Smith just played the role really well. I do find that his character was like I know they were trying to go for emotional scenes, but they just didn't hit home with me at all. I didn't feel any sympathy for his character. Um, like I get it, I understand. Like he has a daughter, I get it. She's his weakness, and like she's the only I get that, but do something new with it. Change it a bit. Like, I mean, if you're gonna tell us, if you're gonna show your hand and tell us the weakness of every character in the movie at the beginning, at least do something interesting with it later on. Don't just use that later on. It's like, hey, look at all the writing tools we used. See these? We used all these writing tools. Now we're gonna keep using those same writing tools. We're not actually gonna put any mystery in this film. And that's one of the things that bothers me. There's no mystery to it. And the Joker is hands down the worst portrayal of the Joker I've ever seen. Now, the main reason I went with Kat. Kat is a huge Joker fan. She was so excited to see how Jared Leto was going to portray the Joker because I mean I didn't really have any expectations. I mean you've got Mark Hamill, who was Luke Skywalker, who was probably one of the greatest Jokers of all time, if not the greatest. And then you've got Jack Nicholson, who, of course, you look at him and you're like, yeah, he'd be a great Joker, and he was. And then Heath Ledger, who you're just like, oh, no way, he's like that fucking blonde kid from A Knight's Tale, and then he was incredible. He was an amazing Joker. Not my favorite, but a great Joker. And so Jared Leto, I just didn't really have any expectations for him as far as playing the Joker. I was like, well, I don't know. I don't really know what he's going to do with it. It could be really interesting. It could be not very interesting. I was not impressed by the trailer showing off his character. And then I saw the movie, and he was extremely disappointing. Like everything about the DC cinematic universe at this point, or the DCEU as they call it, extended universe, everything about these films is blatantly explained to you. Everything is blatantly told to you in your face. This is what we're trying to do, and they are worse movies for that reason. Everything is told to you. Everything is explained. There's no like. It's funny because this is the iteration of Joker. This is the era where the Joker should be insane, and you shouldn't understand him at all, necessarily. And yet, you fully understand every part of his motivation and explanation, because he explains it to you. He tells you what his motivations are. Think back to, like, if you haven't seen the '89 Michael Keaton, Tim Burton Batman, Jack Nicholson, it's probably my favorite live-action Batman. Mainly because nothing's explained. You have to pay attention to the movie in order to know what's going on. You actually have to be thinking about it, because everything is subtle. Everything is the movie does tell you everything, but not through words, through film. And that's why films are so difficult to do right, is because dialogue has a place and absolutely is essential to film, I believe. But the DCEU has never used it right, ever, in my opinion. I hated Man of Steel, I hated Batman vs. Superman, and this is no exception. Suicide Squad, in my opinion, it should be the end of the DCEU. It is absolutely horrendous. Fuck. The visuals are kind of cool, but my honest opinion about the visuals is that it is the cinematic equivalent of dangling keys in front of a baby. Like, hey, look at this shiny thing. Look at this shiny thing over here. Oh, there's another shiny thing over here. There's another shiny thing over here. It's like, it's not... There's no substance. There's no depth to that. It's so lame and stupid, and I hated it. Oh my god. Suicide Squad is abhorrent as a movie. And Harley Quinn could not save this movie. I think it's funny because everyone was all up in arms about how great Margot Robbie was as Harley Quinn. Some people were like, well, Harley Quinn deserves a better movie than Suicide Squad. Personally, I've never cared for the character of Harley Quinn. She does add an interesting dynamic in her relationship with the Joker. I think that is very interesting. I think it was pretty well done in Batman Arkham Asylum. Even better than it was done in the animated show that she came from, the TMS animated Batman. However, I've never been a big fan of Harley Quinn. I don't like, not that I dislike her or anything. I think she's a good character. I don't have any special, like interests there. And then in seeing this movie, I really didn't have any expectations. Like, okay, whatever, Harley Quinn's in it. And she was horrible. She was, like, granted, I think Margot Robbie did the best she could with what she was given, but all of her lines are so predictable. And she doesn't sound like she has psychosis. She sounds like that. You ever know that kid in high school who was one of the, the outcasts, one of the weird kids? I mean, because I was one of those weird kids too. But they were just like, they tried to be random. So they tried so hard to be random because they thought it was impressive or funny to be random. And it's not hard. Being random isn't difficult. Like riding a banana boat down a river of chocolate is not. It's randomness isn't impressive. It doesn't make you seem intelligent or crazy, as people like to try and pretend they are. So that's all that Harley Quinn comes off as in this movie, is just that kid in high school that's trying to be that's trying to pretend she's crazy. not actually crazy. She didn't do anything that actually uh, struck me as this chick's nuts. Okay, this chick is irredeemably insane. Nothing about her struck me that way. She just seemed like a teenager acting out. And if that's what they were going for, great. They did it. But I don't think that's what the character of Harley Quinn is supposed to be. Plain and simple. Killer Croc was lame. Didn't really have much of a backstory. They didn't. What really bothered me too is that they talked about like how genetic. They talked about how genetics went backwards for him. But they didn't actually explain the disease that he has, which is actually a real disease, or not a disease, but like a real genetic defect where you literally do, your genetics do jump back several generations to, you know, having, you know, full hair, full facial hair from you know, forehead to chin, ape kind of stuff. But he happened to be descended from lizards, I guess, whatever. And then you got Diablo, and Diablo was also like they told you his weakness, and like from the beginning, and I knew why he was the way he was, and everyone's like, oh yeah, he's like, everyone was so shocked as to why he wouldn't, like the fact that he wouldn't use his powers. I'm like, but we know he won't use his powers. He's been saying that from minute one of this film. He won't use his powers. Like how are you surprised by this? They told you who he is and what he does and why he doesn't do this. Oh god, there's no mystery. The fucking movie shows you its whole hand at the beginning. That's like, people who enjoyed this movie and the mystery involved with this movie, are the same kind of people who you could play poker with, show them you have a full house, and they're like, and they stay in. They're just like, oh, I've got a pair. What do you got? And then you throw it on your hand. It's like, I wasn't expecting a full house. How did you pull that one out? It doesn't make any sense. Okay, like how like is it just people that are fans of this movie? Just people that like are of the internet, with such a small attention span, they forget what happened at the beginning of the movie by halfway through. Like, because that's what it seems like. And then it's like they brought in Slipknot, this character who climbs buildings well. Whatever. I don't know much about the comic books. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit who Slipknot is. I do like the comics. I do care about the comics. But they brought in this character, and everyone's like, "Oh, I'm so glad that they brought Slipknot in." I'm like, they brought him in as a writing device, though. They literally brought him in to show off the fact of the neck, that the neck things do explode. And granted, that's a very used writing device, but it is an effective one, and I'm glad that they showed some semblance of knowing how to write. But they did it poorly. They didn't do it right. They didn't do it the way they're supposed to do it. They didn't do it immediately. Like there's absolutely no chance of you getting it didn't set up this bleak feeling. They just, like, this guy tried to escape and Boomerang stuck around because you knew he was going to stick around, and then they killed off the fucking dude. It's such and the plot is all over the place in this movie. It's over here and it's over there and it's suddenly down here, and they never just take a chance to focus, and there's no the plot arc isn't properly set up, so you don't really feel like the characters have no chance against the Enchantress, because you don't see them ever against the Enchantress. Think about Hellboy. Okay, Hellboy's a bit of an older comic book movie now. The first thing he does in the movie is fight the big bad of the movie, the character that is like your his main, like, not the main adversary, but the thing that the thing that is controlled by the main adversary, and you are going to be challenged by the whole movie. They never, and this is a spoiler, but the Enchantress is the villain of the movie, and they never fight the Enchantress before the finale. Never do they fight the Enchantress. They don't even know the Enchantress exists until the end of the movie. The Suicide Squad, anyways, the leader guy does, and the soldier, like, god damn. The soldier was lame too. He didn't really do anything useful. God, it literally. I believe that people who like this movie are fans of have two indicative traits. Number one, they are impressed by dangling keys in their faces, and number two, they have an attention span the length of the average YouTube video. Because good God, was this movie stupid and so predictable. And I'm like, I know everything that's going to happen. And I can't believe they even with the visual effects, they managed to make it lame. I couldn't believe that they did this, but they made it lame. So the Enchantress's brother, this big, like, 10-foot tall fucking fire, like red fucking sorcerer dude, crazy powers, got tentacles coming out of his hands. He can just destroy fucking anything. Nothing was stopped by his tentacles, which would have been interesting if something was able to stop his tentacles and they could have, used that or something. Either way, he has these tentacles that are basically unstoppable and have no, like, explanation of physics or weaknesses. And then they go to fight this guy before they fight the Enchantress. They're in the same room. And Diablo summons this, like, he basically turns into this giant, like, also 10-foot tall flaming beast that's really weirdly scrawny. It was, I don't know, kind of awkward to look at. And then, can you guess how he fights the Enchantress's brother? They punch and kick each other. Like, what? How does that make any sense? It's like before Diablo summoned this demon version of himself, all the characters go to fight this Enchantress's brother, and all he does, instead of using the tentacle thing, which he uses a couple times but doesn't actually hit anybody, which fucking blows my mind. Because like before he could like hold his tentacles out and just walk through shit and it would just all be destroyed. Anything that his tentacles touched, they would be destroyed. But it's suddenly in the finale he could only shoot them once and then retract them and shoot them again and then retract them. So like that didn't make any fucking sense. But anyways, he only used that a couple times in the finale. Generally speaking, whenever some Suicide Squad members would come up to him to fight him, he just kicked them. He kicked like 5 people. That's all he did. He just kicked them, and it was like the most awkward like push kick kind of thing. Fuck! It was so dumb. And then they finally kill him by killing Diablo. It was stupid. They set up a bomb underneath of him. And apparently, a bomb can kill him, but being shot at by everything doesn't kill him. Being covered in fire by Diablo and his fire pyrokinesis bullshit. That didn't kill him, even though he got like filled with fire. Like he was breathing fire down his throat, and his face was melting. And then in the next scene, he was fine again. He was suddenly instantly healed, and you don't even see him heal. He just heals off screen, which was so dumb. And then, and I can't believe this, but but. Then you have fucking the Enchantress comes out and starts punching and kicking everybody and swinging swords around with them, and then she teleports away after fighting with them for a bit, and then just takes all their weapons away using a spell. Just takes all their weapons away, and I'm like, why did you do that from the beginning? Like, what made you think this was a good idea? What, are you just demonstrating your power? We know how strong you are. You're about to destroy the entire world, for God's sake. Ugh. And of course, like Harley Quinn betrays the team sort of partway through the movie, and it was like, oh, like the Joker came to pick me up and I'm leaving now, and then the Joker dies, which he doesn't die, of course, they tell you that by the end, but the Joker dies, and I'm like, no, we know you're not going to kill the Joker off. You don't have the balls like Arkham City did to kill the Joker, okay? At least they gave him an arc. Anyways, so she betrays the team, as you know that she's going to do, because she's been texting the Joker the entire time, and he keeps saying that he's going to come and get her. No mystery there. You know what would have been more interesting? If she had been texting the Joker the whole time? Fine, totally. Texting the Joker, he's going to come and save her. But they didn't tell you who was playing the Joker. And then suddenly this soldier guy that was leading the squad turned out to be the Joker. That would have been way more cool, okay? That would have been so much more badass. Or like, maybe they made a secondary character, a guy that was like, that soldier guy's right-hand guy and the most, like, trusted guy on the team, And he was like trying to be nice to everybody on the Suicide Squad. Like he was trying to be buddy with them, even though the soldier guy was kind of a dick to them. And then it turned out that that guy was the Joker. That guy, the right hand guy, was the Joker. That would have been interesting. That would have been incredible. It would have been so cool to watch, like him getting under the skin of all these Suicide Squad members and turning them against the soldiers slowly, and turning them against this regime that they're a part of. That would have been awesome. So cool. But they did like, but they're just so dumb. It was such a dumb movie. Okay, I'm done ranting. But I can't even recommend it like I recommended Batman vs Superman, because I think Batman vs Superman is worth watching just to see how not to do Batman vs Superman. But I can't recommend Suicide Squad. It's just it's a mess. There's nothing redeemable really from it. I mean, like Will Smith is as good as he always is. Well, not always, but he did a great job. I mean, he's still got the acting chops for sure. He did a great job, but Jared Leto sucked as the Joker. He was just dumb, just horrible. Nothing interesting about his character at all. Harley Quinn wasn't good. Killer Croc wasn't good. Nobody was good in this movie. Nobody fucking portrayed their roles properly or good other than fucking Will Smith. Oh man. And the worst part was I had to see fucking Ben Affleck in that shitty Batman costume again. God damn, he's such a squishy looking Batman. I just want to... He's like a plushie. I want to squish him around and throw him against walls. But that's all for my review. We might do a Let's Play of No Man's Sky soon, because that's a great game. I've been playing the shit out of that game. Holy fuck. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Tune in next time for another fucking piss-ass review of some other fucking shitty movie. God damn. This movie sucked. It's like, I would give it a 26% on Rotten Tomatoes too, if I were God. Anyways, bye.